Alright, what is up guys? I've just got a little update video for all of you on a few things now that the Dakota turbo install has pretty much been finished at this point. Got some things to talk about, but the first thing, the video may look a little bit different because I'm using my new cell phone that I bought. I don't have the old crappy one that I tried using a couple times before and it just did a horrible job. This video, since it's not super crucial that video quality is very high, I'm going to go ahead and give this phone a trial run here in the garage where I'm going to be doing most of my videos anyway. Figured if it does good enough in here, then maybe I'll use it. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about the cell phone's video quality at the moment. It should be a little bit more stable than the GoPro, and audio might even be a little bit better. I tried making this video once before, but it was very difficult because I didn't have a handle. So right now I'm actually using the suction cup mount for the GoPro, and I've got it stuck to the back of the cell phone, and it's making a pretty decent handle, really. It's not that bad. So let me know what you think of the video. If it's at least good enough, like pretty close to as good, or maybe even better than the GoPro, let me know. It's a lot easier for me to use the cell phone since it actually has a screen and has a mic on the front and back, I think. It should do a little bit better for audio quality. It's supposed to record 1080p, so we'll just see how it does. That's the first thing. Using the cell phone for the first time, it's a little trial run on it. The main purpose of this update was to explain a few things about the truck, but before we get to that, I'm going to talk about the PT Cruiser real quick. So that car is actually doing very, very well. I've fixed a few fluid leaks. It was leaking trans fluid and antifreeze, as you guys are aware of from the reveal video of it. Fixed that, did a couple of little tweaks, a couple of fixes. The car's pretty much dialed aside from needing brakes. And it has some vibration when you're cruising above like 65, 70, around there. It gets a little bit of shake in the steering wheel, and I think it's a tire issue, but I'm not really sure because the steering wheel is kind of tweaked a little bit as well to the left, so it could just be an alignment issue as well. The tires are old. They're all the same size, but there's like 3 different tire brands on it. So it's kind of mixed and matched. I may just go ahead and put all 4 new tires on it and see how it does, and maybe put an alignment on it real quick and see how good I can get that thing to drive, because I've taken it on multiple really long trips and it's done well, hasn't missed a beat. It's been doing extremely well. I've done a couple little mods to it. The car's surprisingly quicker than I thought, because the throttle cable is loose, so I wasn't even getting full throttle when I would step on it. It's surprisingly fast. And that's that. The car's doing great. I'll make probably its own separate video later showing you guys what I've done to it exactly, and I also want to make an exhaust video for it. You guys will see why later. But yeah, that car's doing great, just in case any of you were curious. I enjoy driving it. The car's grown on me quite a bit. I may hang on to it longer than I originally thought. I didn't really think I would enjoy the car as much as I have, but it's proven to be a very fun car to drive around. Even with it being just only automatic, it's still an absolute blast and super comfortable. Now we'll just go ahead and move on to the truck. The FMU setup works, but it doesn't work good enough. The truck still leans out in boost. It's a combination of the FMU getting to be a higher ratio because of the way that I had to mess around with it just to get the thing to work at all, and it's a combination of that and the ECU not knowing when it should be an open or closed loop. The one mode is like a richer mode, like a safety mode for when you're like watt and stuff, and then the other mode is like an economy mode basically, so you don't waste a bunch of fuel. I can't ever keep it too straight which one is what, but there's those 2 modes. The ECU doesn't know when to be in either one, so it ends up running lean sometimes, runs about where it's supposed to sometimes. It's just all over the freaking place. It seems to have better AFRs and high RPMs. Low RPMs, if it starts building boost, it just has no idea what to do, which is really unfortunate because the automatic transmission doesn't know what to do either when you step on it. It's always been like that. You step on it and it really hesitates before downshifting. The decision I've made has been to take the Megasquirt that I had built for the 420A, which was in the Eclipse. I'm going to take that and we're going to put it in the truck. Everything except for one thing is directly compatible with that ECU, since I had it modified to be compatible with the Hall sensor that was on the 420A. That is also what the Dakotas use. Now, for the 3.9 liter V6, its crank trigger is a little bit different than say the 420A or the 5.2 Magnum or anything like that. So there's no code written for it, so while the Hall sensors are compatible, there's no code to read the V6 one. My two options were I could have put tone ring, I think is what it's called. I could put one of those from a V8 in it, and then it would work. Or I can do this, I can install this. This is what's known as a Hall effect distributor. This came on pre-Magnum Dakotas, actually all pre-Magnum Dodge stuff from like the mid to late 80s. This has a Hall sensor built into it, and you can see the wiring harness sticking out of it right there. I went and picked this thing up at the junkyard, came out of an 88 3.9 liter V6 Dakota, and if I swap my current distributor out for that, the Hall sensor in that is 100% compatible with the Megasquirt, so I just have to swap that in, wire it up, change a few settings in the Megasquirt tune, and the truck will run on Megasquirt. It's already got a tune that's going to be close enough to get the thing to start pretty much right off the bat, and then I'll have to make tweaks to it after that. I'm going to be using the wideband AEM air fuel ratio gauge I have, going to be wiring that into the Megasquirt, not using a narrowband at all. And everything else sensors wise, like the air temp, the coolant temp, throttle position sensors, those are all compatible with the Megasquirt. I just have to wire the signals in. I'm going to be running piggyback, so the stock ECU is still going to be in there. It's going to control whatever else, and it's going to control everything that it controls aside from the fuel, basically. That's all the Megasquirt is going to control is fuel. Main reason I'm going piggyback is so that the stock ECU is still in there to control the stock gauges and the factory idle, because I had huge issues trying to get one to work on the 420A. Never did get it to work, so I'm just going to leave the stock ECU in there. I may run into an issue since I'm going to be losing my cam position sensor when I swap distributors, because the cam position sensor in the Magnum engines is in the distributor, which, you know, makes sense, of course. So hopefully the stock ECU uses the crank position sensor, which it should, to gauge RPM and control, you know, idle and the stock tachometer and stuff. If it doesn't and it uses the cam position sensor, or it uses combo of the two, and the stock idle doesn't work anymore and the stock tach and stuff doesn't work anymore, I'm just going to go full standalone and pull the thing out. But if it does still operate correctly with the cam position sensor out, I'm going to have a check engine light, but so what? If it still operates correctly and is still able to control idle appropriately and do everything else it's supposed to do like I hope it does, then I will leave it in there and have the Megasquirt in there to control fuel. I'm getting a new wiring harness for it so I can make my own wiring harness. I'm not going to chop up the 420A's one because I still want to get a new Megasquirt for that later on down the road when it comes time to build that. I'm going to get a new serial adapter so I can use my tablet to tune, which will be nice because I can use auto tune for more than 30 minutes at a time and not lug a giant ass laptop around the place. I'm going to get 44-pound fuel injectors. I found a set that Excel makes, which is Holley's brand. That's it. I just need the wiring harness, the new serial adapter, and those. And then one issue I'm going to run into that will be able to solve pretty easily is these plug wires have different ends. They look like the old school points style plugs that go into the distributor. See that right there? That's what goes into the top here. I'm going to take this. I've got an MSD boot and plug that'll hook up into just a standard coil. And then I'm going to go on eBay or something and order like a Blaster SS coil pack or something small so I can mount it right up on the firewall super close to the distributor, because the stock wire that I pulled off the junkyard Dakota is extremely short. And then this thing will just drop right in. I'll wire it into the Megasquirt and it'll all work. I can't put it in right now because you remove the cam position sensor and the Dakota doesn't run, of course. So I have to do all of that at once when the Megasquirt is actually going on it. And once it's all wired up, I've got the distributor swapped, ignition coil swapped out, the injectors put in, make a couple tweaks to the settings and the tune for that distributor sensor and for the injectors and stuff. I should be able to just turn the key and it should fire right up, and then I'll just be able to drive around in auto tune and let it kind of tweak itself. It'll have the wideband in it, so it'll be even more accurate in auto tune than it was with the 420A, which it did a really, really good job. We kind of peeked around at the tune that it did on its own before it was dyno tuned, and it actually did a really, really good job of getting the AFRs pretty straightened out. So the only issue it had was there was a certain setting that makes it load up with fuel when you give it throttle that was causing problems, and we just shut that setting off. And the tune that I had put on it before made, I mean, the dyno tune and the auto tune that we had, the difference was maybe 15 horsepower, so it actually did a surprisingly good job of getting the AFRs and everything squared away and running good. So that's the plan for the Dakota. I wanted to give you guys a little update on that, and I wanted to give the cell phone a try and see how it does. So like I said, let me know in the comments what you think of the cell phone video. This handle actually works pretty well. I may try and make something up because the suction cup is pretty convenient. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed just this quick little update on some stuff. I'm going to do a couple of PT Cruiser videos after this. I'll show you guys what I've done to it, and then I want to make an exhaust video for it as well, so be looking forward to that. And then shortly after that is done, we'll be working on the truck again and putting the Megasquirt on. It's going to be, from the time that I'm recording this video, it's going to be probably 3 or 4 weeks before I get around to doing the Megasquirt stuff, so the truck's basically just going to sit. There's a few other little tweaks I want to make to the truck that aren't engine management related, like I want to run a new drain line and stuff on it, so there's a few other little things that I want to do with it. But the truck does still run and drive good. I drove it around a few times. I got the exhaust leak fixed on the driver's side manifold, had a muffler shop pull that stud out, so there's no exhaust leaks anywhere, and it's pretty dialed aside from engine management not working right. So like I said, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you later.